Hey guys, so today we have this 15 Pro Max with a cracked back glass. The first thing we do is put it on the heat mat for 1 minute at about 150 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat loosens up the adhesive on the back. There are two pentalobe screws that you have to remove, then use a thin playing card and some isopropyl alcohol to cut through the adhesive. Apple has strengthened the adhesive compared to previous models, so it does take some elbow grease to cut through it. I like using a single edge razor to lift the glass to get the card in. This is because it is thin enough to get in between the frame and the glass. Apple has made these phones airtight, so any thick blade will not be able to get in the gap. You don't want to put the card all the way in, as there are open components such as the battery towards the middle of the phone, and the wireless coil in the back glass with the flex cable attached. You do not want to damage these components, so try to stay near the edge of the phone while cutting through the adhesive with the card. The battery especially can be punctured easily and can spark or catch fire. There have been a few batteries in the past on older models I've worked on where I've punctured the battery. Luckily, it only sparked for a few seconds. There have been videos where batteries combust and burn the whole phone. I've been lucky enough that it hasn't happened to me. I like the way Apple has made the glass removable now. It makes it easier to replace it. In previous models, the back glass was fully adhered and needed a laser or heat to remove and replace it. Even though Apple has made it easier to remove it, they did not appear to make it any stronger, as people are breaking the back glass on the 15 series, particularly on the Pro and Pro Max. There have been a lot of cases where the back glass has cracked from a light drop. I do believe it is due to the gap in between the mid-frame and the back glass. The back glass essentially is sitting on the metal towards the middle of the phone. The frame of the phone has thick adhesive, which the back glass sits on, but that adhesive is nowhere else on the back glass. Glass, in my opinion, inside a phone needs support, such as adhesive or some kind of light material to absorb the shock. Glass does flex, so if it does, and there's nothing to support the glass, it will break. This is just my observation on it. I'm not sure if that's the actual case of why they break so easy. In any case, it is profitable that they do break. It keeps us in business. I don't think Apple would ever make a phone that is shatterproof. People would never have to buy or repair a phone. If that happened, the repair industry would cease to exist. As the adhesive is loosened up, we can now lift up the back glass and fold it over to the right. You can see the wireless coil flex cable attached to the motherboard, and you're going to have to disconnect it. We can now start removing the wireless coil cable from the back glass to transfer over to the new back glass. At the top, you have to remove the mic and flash. They are both held in with brackets that use triple Y screws. I use some isopropyl to loosen the flex and lift it up. The wireless coil can be a bit tricky. You can start at one spot to get underneath the black tape and adhesive. You want to go all the way under the coil and go in a circle with the spudger to loosen it. You have to be careful on this part as the coil can be easily damaged. Each coil strand is hair thin, so it can be cut without much force. Always use a plastic spudger. Once the coil is loosened, you can remove it and we can move it on to putting it on the new glass. I bought an OEM pulled glass in A-grade condition. Getting an OEM pulled part means this glass was pulled directly off another 15 Pro Max. The A-grade condition means that this part looks like new and has no blemishes or scratches. Usually, these parts come from phones that are beyond repair or just part phones. I got an OEM part for this phone because I believe that the aftermarket quality is not up to par yet, so I did not want to take the risk of putting a subpar part on a $1,200 phone. Always use OEM if given the chance. I had to pay a premium for it as it was about $170 for the back glass. Apple charges $200 for the back glass repair, and in this case, the part alone almost costs what Apple charges. The phone is still under a year old, so OEM parts tend to be expensive for it. In the future, it will most likely come down to a reasonable price. Getting an OEM piece ensures that the quality, durability, and color of the glass is original spec, and I don't have to worry about the customer complaining that there are any defects. On the new glass, it also had an OEM wireless coil attached. I could not get a straight answer if the wireless coil flex was paired to the phone, so I swapped the new flex cable with the old one. It was just a little more work for me, but I wanted to make sure that there were no issues. Apple pairs certain components to the phone, such as the screen, battery, and rear camera. They are serialized, so Apple knows if the part has been changed. I did not want to take the risk of not swapping the wireless coil flex. This flex cable actually has a few components on it. It has the wireless coil NFC antenna, the flash, and rear mic. People don't know that it is actually a rear mic. It records sound when you are taking a video and also performs noise canceling when you're on a phone call. The NFC antenna that is located in the coil is not the one used for Apple Pay transactions. It's actually used for the MagSafe. An example of this is when you put on an Apple silicone case and the prompt comes up on the phone stating there's a MagSafe case with the color of the case as well. The primary NFC antenna is located on top of the phone. It would be a weird location to have that primary NFC antenna in the middle of the phone on the back. What holds the MagSafe charger or any wireless charging pad to the phone are magnets. These magnets are located right along the edge of the wireless coil. You can actually see them when you take the coil out. You might be wondering why Apple switched from aluminum phone frames such as the iPhone 7 to the glass back on the iPhone 8 and up. It is because the wireless coil charging does not work with metal. The wireless coil produces electromagnetic signals, and those signals are blocked with metal. That is why Apple switched to using glass. In my opinion, the aluminum backing was nice and sturdier. You didn't have to worry about breaking the back. If any of you have owned an older iPhone in the past, such as the 5, 6, or 7, you know that they didn't break so easily by dropping. The front screen was the only thing you had to worry about. Now it's both the front and the back that you have to be cautious with. I personally don't use the wireless charger to charge my phones because it just takes longer to charge and it's always going to be faster with the wire. It's just convenient for when you don't want to use a wire and want to lay it on a wireless pad. I started putting the original flex from the broken back onto the new one. You have to make sure the coil sits in correctly and it is in the right position. The coil itself sits on the inner side of the magnet. You don't want it to sit on top because there will be a bulge. It shouldn't be too bad as it's the original flex and going back onto the original back glass. If it was an aftermarket, you might run into some trouble aligning it. I firmly pressed the coil down with the remaining adhesive that was left on it. Make sure not to touch the camera lens as it could leave fingerprints inside. I've touched them before, not realizing it, and put the phone back together only to find out there was a fingerprint inside the lens and had to take the phone back apart to clean it. Once the new back glass is prepped, we can start cleaning the frame of the phone. There are still glass shards which are stuck to the frame. I removed these but try to leave the original adhesive intact. I typically don't replace it as it is hard to find a new OEM seal, and also if that condition of the seal is good, I leave it alone. I just remove any lumps of adhesive that may appear due to the removal process of the back glass. Even though some components on the back are visible, you can't access them from the back of the phone. The screen has to be removed to access the components inside the phone. The titanium frame that Apple has advertised is not fully titanium. It's actually only 1mm of titanium on the band, and the interior is aluminum. It is not fully titanium as people might believe. The biggest benefit of titanium is how light the material is. The 15 Pro Max is so much lighter than the previous Pro Max models. You can feel the difference when you pick one up. If they make the frame full titanium in the future, I can only imagine how light it can really become. Now that the frame is clean of glass, I applied cold press glue around the frame. The cold press glue is a good option for resealing the phone. It creates a strong bond with the glass and metal. I've used cold press glue for all other back glass work on the previous models. Any adhesive usually wears out over time. Even the factory Apple adhesive does. The iPhone straight out of the box is water resistant, but over time it loses that water resistant capability. If you live in a hotter environment, the seal on the phone weakens and becomes susceptible to dust and dirt, and eventually it fails to where it's not water resistant anymore. I've seen this happen so many times firsthand, and people wonder why their phone is not water resistant anymore after a few years. People also get the whole water resistant and waterproof concept mixed up. Apple almost advertises the phone as waterproof, but on paper, in bold letters, it's water resistant. I get many people that water damage their phone come in and ask how did water get in, and I thought the phone was waterproof. I have to correct them and educate them on the difference between the two terms. I see a lot of the same tendencies with the iPhones over the years. For the most part, it's usually pretty predictable. The back glass is a very common repair for me. It usually takes a good impact to break if you have a case on it. Without a case, there is no doubt it will most likely shatter if you drop it. I've always had a case on my phone and dropped it dozens of times and it's never broke. Granted, it's usually a 2 to 3 foot drop. So with the case, usually 90% of the time, the phone is fine. With most phone cases, the back camera is still exposed, so in some instances when people drop their phone, it will hit the back glass in between the camera lens. I've seen that happen numerous times. The odds of it happening are pretty low, but it still happens. They have the rear camera lens protectors that cover the whole area, so it might be a good idea to get one if you don't have it. After putting on the glue, I put the clamp so it creates pressure and I leave it to dry. This concludes the repair. I enjoyed repairing this phone. The ease of the back glass removal was super convenient and a game changer for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a few things. Like and subscribe for more and stay tuned.